Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishtya Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Jnanasvarupam Nijabhavayuktam Anandamanandakaram prasannam Yogindramedhyam Bhavarogavedyam Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami Nityaya Satyaya Chidatmakaya Navyaya Bhavyaya Paratparaya Shuddhaya Buddhaya Niranjanaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekaraya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekaraya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekaraya. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So in the last session, I think in the last few sessions we have been discussing Vairagya and Mumukshutva and also discussing how all the scriptures, they tell us how to do Vichara. How will Vairagya get generated in the mind? Only when we understand that our body and this whole world is transitory and all the happiness that we look for, everything is short-lived, transitory, ephemeral. So the scriptures tell us to constantly do Vichara. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vichara. What is permanent and what is impermanent. That one must have Viveka. It is called Viveka in Vedanta. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. And we call it Vicharaha. In Yoga Vasishta it says, Vicharohi Mahaushadham. Dirgha Samsara Rogasya. Vicharohi Mahaushadham. Even in our ordinary life, one must use one's own intelligence to think, to understand what is good, say good for the family, good for education, good for the job. One must think. So, in the spiritual path, also a seeker, if a seeker wants to progress in this spiritual path and wants to attain fulfillment in life, attaining the supreme state, then one must take to Vichara. So we have been seeing and discussing certain shlokas from Vairagya Shatakam, from Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, and we were discussing how normally, commonly, we do not think so deeply about our everyday life. So Bhartrihari has told in Vairagya Shatakam that how we should look at life. The life is We think that the sun is rising, sun is setting. And we also know that in the morning we will get up, at night we will again sleep, again the next day we will get up, again at night we will sleep. It goes on like a cycle. But we do not go beyond that. We do not think that with the coming of a day and coming of a night, actually what is happening is one day of our life is getting reduced. So, this is life. We do not look into it. We are doing a lot of activity. Our life is full of activities. So we remain engaged in such a manner that do not think that we are doing one activity after another, but actually what is happening? The time is getting spent. The lifespan is getting reduced. We are looking at so many incidents in our life, the birth, death, old age, disease, and the sufferings that we have. The world comes to us with happiness as well as unhappiness. We see all these things, but we do not think deeply about that all these things are transitory and will not stay. So since we do not do vichara, we remain entangled with whatever is happening, and we are not able to go forward to the path of liberation. Now, we must have repeated vichara. That is why the Shastras are saying repeatedly. See, in Bhagavad Gita also in 13th chapter, it says, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. That is, repeatedly you do vichara on what? On the world and worldliness. What is the world consisting of? How is our life? The trouble and torments of worldliness. Whether it is birth, whether it is death, whether it is old age, whether it is disease, everything is associated with maybe a little happiness, but most of it unhappiness. Suppose one has lived joyfully. No adversity a person has faced in life. Still, he will be afraid of what? Old age and disease. He will be afraid of the family, the near and dear ones should not have any disease, should not suffer, should not die, and not to speak of oneself. So these things are unavoidable in life. So what we have to do with vichara, we have to see the troubles and torments of life, and we should get used to doing vichara repeatedly so that delusion about life is destroyed and vairagya arises. How will vairagya arise? Because we are so attracted to our worldly objects, worldly gains. We feel that if we get this, we'll be happy. If we get that, we will be happy. Happy we definitely become. But along with that happiness comes anxiety and stress. Suppose I lose it. How to preserve it? Suppose everything is happy in a family. Everybody is well settled, well educated. Everybody is healthy. There is a fear in the back of the mind. Suppose something goes wrong. So when we start doing vichara, what is that vichara? Understanding that life comes with happiness and unhappiness in a cyclic manner. Life is transitory. Nothing will remain permanently, and understand this truth, then what happens? Lot of things which one would be attracted to generally will not give any more any attraction. So the dispassion will start growing. In life, actually, one is very much attached to one's body, family, and wealth. And these things, this attachment binds human beings very strongly. That is why, from the beginning, from the time we take to the spiritual path, apart from, people, they feel that religious path or spiritual path are just certain routines, some pursuit. We get up in the morning, we light a lamp, we chant some shlokas, we may be reading a book, we may be listening to some lectures, we may be contemplating and meditating for some time of the day. And what about the rest of the time? We are in worldliness. We are in our thoughts. The thoughts regarding our own body, the I that I feel, I am this body. Actually, I am the self, I am not the body. The self is changeless and the body is changeful. But mistakenly, we start considering this changeful body as the I. So we start thinking like that, and whatever is associated with this body, we feel this belongs to me and those become mine. So our thoughts, our plans, all are associated with whatever we consider I and mine. So rest of the time of the day, when we are not doing these religious or spiritual practices, our mind is entangled with all these thoughts and plans about our body, our family, our wealth and property, maybe our name, prestige, etc., our achievements and all that. And these bind us. I think this I have been telling again and again. It is necessary to say again and again. Because unless we do that, we forget. Human beings are such. We constantly forget what is the shreyas. We go behind the prayers. So, the body. Now what did I say? Not me. The Shastras say that we get entangled by the thoughts of the body, then the family, and wealth, property, achievements, etc. So, body, if we look at that, body is impermanent. So, what should be the vichara? Every day we must remember that this body that I have got is impermanent. Labdhva kathanchid labdhva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam apiha dhiraha. This is from Bhagavatam. Labdhva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante. After many janmas, many lives, we get a human birth. We could have been born as anything else, any animal or insect or bird or anything. But we have got human body. What is the speciality of human body? God has given us mind and intelligence to be used. And mind and intelligence will have the capability to discriminate. Intelligence has the capability to discriminate between what is good and what is bad. What path will be suitable for one, what will not be. So, vichara has to be taken. So, whatever activities we do in the daytime, apart from that, we have got up in the morning, we have done our spiritual and devotional routines, and rest of the time we are active. In that, during that activity, on and off, we must have this vichara about the body is impermanent. That I-ness that develops, I am doing, I am thinking, whether I will do, whether I will succeed, whether I will fail, all these thoughts of what about the body? And the body is impermanent. So what is this shloka saying? Labdhva sudurlabhamidam. This body has been obtained in a very, very rare way. It is sudurlabha, rare. It is very rare that we have got a human body. And the human body is anitya. It is impermanent. It will not stay. It will undergo all kinds of changes. Changes will take place. Ultimately, one will have old age and one will die. So lifespan is short. So it says that the body is impermanent, but through the body, using the mind and intelligence alone, we can attain the supreme. We can work for liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from the shackles of the mind and intelligence. We suffer because of our ideas which we hold on to, our attachments that we hold on to. So, to be liberated from that, it is not that we get liberated when our body falls. It is to be liberated while we are in the body. What makes the bondage? The mind makes the bondage. Mind gets attached. Mind is not able to let go of many things. So, we have to constantly understand and do this vichara. This body is impermanent. So, labdhva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manushyam. We have got human body. Anityam. And what is this? Anityam, impermanent. Arthadam. But with this body only we can attain God, attain self. So, having had the human body, though it is impermanent, through this body alone we can work for our liberation. So, a wise man, knowing this, what does he do? Turnam yateta na patet anumrityu yavat. So, knowing this, a wise person, what he should do? He should immediately, knowing that, oh, acha, I've got a human body. See, most of the time in our education system, nobody tells us this. When we are small, when we are young, we are only asked to study some subjects. We are not told about this. That see, you are not the body, you are the self. But having had the body, you have the greatest treasure of working for liberation. Nobody tells us. Now what this sloka is saying, as soon as you have come to know this, you are very blessed that you have come to know this. Maybe by reading some shastras or maybe in the association of a self-realized person, you have come to know that there is a way by which, pursuing which, we can attain the supreme, become liberated, become peaceful forever. We can become unaffected forever, free forever, fearless forever. So, if we are wise people, what shall we do? Turnam yateta. Immediately we should try to make an effort to achieve this. Na pated anumrityu yavat. And why should we do it immediately? Because every day the life is getting shortened by one day. As soon as the body is born, the death also follows it. It is a truth. So why waste time? We do not know when the body will fall. So any wise person, having known that there is a way, pursuing which, following which, we can be liberated while we are in the life. We can be free. We can constantly experience the bliss of the self. He should immediately make an effort to pursue this path. So, how will the interest come? Only when we introspect. If we do not use our intelligence and we just get up in the morning, do our work, night we sleep, again get up in the morning, do our work, night we sleep, then we will not be anywhere. Using our intelligence, what we should do? Think that, oh, I am doing so many activities with my body, but this body is impermanent. So, the knowledge that I have got, that I can do my sadhana or I can pursue this path and attain the supreme, I must do it. Now, about this body, there should be so much of introspection. we become very proud with our body. And we think that we are living in this life, the life will go on like this. So, Bhartrihari is saying that the Vichara on the body should also be that the body, not only it is impermanent, it is filled with what? Bone, flesh, blood, and urine, stool, all kinds of impure things. See, we are attached to our body and we think, so somebody will be very beautiful, somebody will be very healthy, somebody will be having lot of strength, somebody will be very educated, so all will feel very proud. So why Vichara is done? That there is nothing to be proud. This body itself, it is made up of these things, all impure things. Suppose the body which is consisted of these items, flesh, blood, and bones, stool, urine, phlegm, and all that. Suppose on the way these things are kept, will we even step on them? No. We do not want to touch those things because we feel that those are impure. Those are very hateful things, dislikable things. So, the Vichara should be that. Why are we so enamored? If we are to think about the body to be a very good thing, it is to be used only for the spiritual purpose. So, it is a source of all diseases also. The body is also the source of all diseases. And however much we look after it, maybe we are looking after the body very well, giving good food, good healthy condition, healthy food, doing exercises, going to the doctors, taking vitamins, but the body will leave. Body will be dropping one day. It will not stay. So these thoughts has to come in the mind. These thoughts, when they come, then we will not have that kind of attachment to one's own body or the bodies of other people. See, our sorrow is this, that we get too attached with our body. Any little sickness or disease, we are afraid. Oh, suppose it turns out to be something very bad. Any little sickness of near and dear ones, we are extremely agitated and extremely worried. So these are the vicharas which help us to get rid of these things. So Bhartrihari is saying, in this 9th shloka, Bhartrihari says, look at your body. Nivritta bhogecha purusha bahumanopi galitaha samanaswaryataha sapati suhrido jivita samaha shanairiyashtuthanam घनतिमिररुद्धे च नयने अहो मूढ कायस्तदपि मरणापाय चकितः निवृत्ता भोगेच्छा पुरुष बहुमानोऽपि गलितः समानाः स्वर्याताः सपदि सुहृदो जीवितसमाः शनैर्यष्टुत्थानं घनतिमिररुद्धे च नयने अहो मूढः कायस्तदपि मरणापाय चकितः. Not to be attached to even one's own body. This is how we can develop indifference to constantly thinking about our body. Disease, old age. When disease and old age come, mostly at that time, people will be constantly thinking. If you see, if few old people, they meet together, each will be talking about their diseases. This is happening to me, that is happening to me, I went to that doctor, etc., etc. Only disease. So, how to develop indifference so that, my dear children, why are we discussing these? It's not that I'm taking this portion now. We have been discussing constantly so that our love for this path increases, our thoughts which are engaged and entangled about the world, about the family, it reduces, and our thought goes to God, goes to the self, goes to Brahman. We are able to constantly think about Brahman, dwell on the thoughts. We can, when we look at the whole world, we try to feel that presence, which is the one presence. Although there is variety of things, we should be feeling the presence of that one. So we have been discussing. And all of you, I think you are serious seekers. We are still wanting to know how our mind will become wholesome, so that whatever we are doing, whatever activities we are engaged in, the mind remains at that state, thinking about that universal self, the Brahman. To be able to do that, so that the mind withdraws from the attractions, allurements of the worldly objects, worldly thoughts, we are going through these slokas, where it gives us a way to think, to do vichara, how to become more and more indifferent, understanding that everything is ephemeral, transitory. While we do this, we also have to think of the presence of the self everywhere. Think of the attributes of the self. Chant those, become those, be elevated in the mind. So in this sloka, what Bhartrihari is telling, Nivritta bhogecha purusha bahumanopi galitaha samana swaryataha sapadi suhrido jivita samaha. So he says that now body over time will become old. And when it becomes old, many of the things which seemed quite attractive, alluring, and one wanted to enjoy, because of the condition of the body, the old age of the body, one is not able to enjoy. So those wishes of enjoyment has already died down, has become feeble. Purusha bahumanaha api galitaha. And when old age comes, what happens? You are old, so you will not be able to be very active. Maybe you will be just doing your usual day-to-day work, or sit somewhere. When food is given, you take, then you sleep off. Many of the things which you very proudly you have been doing, you were respected for those work, you are not able to do now. So what happens? People will not be showing that much of interest in you or respect for you, will not eagerly come and start discussing anything with you when old age comes. Suhridaha samanaha jivita samaha. And friends who were friends of my age, some of them already has gone. They have left their bodies. Sapadi swa yataha. That is, they have all gone wherefrom they have come. It has left their bodies. Shanaihi yashti utthanam. And the body also, if you have to walk about or you have to sit, you are sitting, you have to get up, you have to hold a stick or hold something and get up. This is the condition. Most of the people will, those who are listening, some of them who are not old, for them also it is going to come. Those who are old, already it is there. So this is inevitable in one's life. So what our Shastras are saying, think of that. Now you cannot say that why should we think of that and become sorry now? Only because to get rid of the attachments to the body. When we know that this is going to happen, we will be able to accept the situation when you become old or there is a disease. My dear children, we meet many people. You know, there are people who are not able to accept their old age. There are people who are not able to accept their diseased body. They keep on crying that I used to do this thing earlier. Oh, I was doing so many things earlier. Why is it that I am not able to do? Or we'll say my mother, she was so active earlier. How is it that she has got this fate of a disease and she is lying down? People are there who are not able to accept the fate of old age, disease, etc. So that is why the Shastras are teaching us, telling us, read this, read this, read this. Do vichara on this. These are inevitable stages in human life. So that when we think about this, they become so common for us. Because we have given thought. So even to get up, we have to hold a light, hold a stick. Ghana timira ruddhe, nayane cha ghana timira ruddhe. And the eyes are not able to see clearly because of some eye defect like cataract or whatever. So these will happen. Then is an interesting thing. Aho mudaha kayaha. Still, alas, what is this foolishness? That I am seeing that my body is aging, the body's condition has become like this. Tadapi maranapaya chakitaha. Still, it does not think that death is also inevitable. Since we do not think, give a thought, what happens? We constantly fear the death. That is why it is saying, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. These stages any human being will have to go through. If we constantly think about that and we do not try to avoid those thoughts, then what will happen? When the body is becoming old, accept it. Also accept the fact that sometime the body will fall. There will not be fear. So what will you become? Fearless. Atma is fearless. There is no fear in Atma. What does Krishna say? Krishna says that yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthitona dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. That is a state which is our real identity, our own self, realizing which we will feel there is nothing more to achieve. And staying where? Remaining where? Guruna dukkhena api na vichalyate. Even if greatest adversity comes, we will not be affected. And I think all of us should like to have that state. Because in our life, we are only doing one thing, getting affected. Getting affected. Affected by what? Small, small things, big, big things. Let aside big adversities, small things. I was not talked to nicely. I had to hear some comments. Such and such person dislikes me. His behavior or her behavior was not good. My partner is not considerate to me, doesn't understand me. These are the affectations. Don't you think that we should go beyond these affectations and live freely? So, aho moodhaha kayastadapi maranapaya chakitaha. So even if leading a life full of distress when the body has become old, it is neither able to see properly, maybe no appetite also. Whatever we used to enjoy, food, many food that we used to enjoy while we were young, we will not enjoy. Or maybe the stomach, the digestive power is such that you are not able to enjoy even whatever you like. It has come on your plate, you are not able to eat and enjoy because of the condition of the stomach at old age. You are not able to walk properly, get up properly. Many of the known people have already gone, left their body. So, in spite of all that distress, one does not grow dispassion towards own body. One doesn't feel that, oh, the distress, I'm very much distressed, so it's okay. Whenever the body falls, let it fall. Even the desire to live is so strong that the dispassion doesn't arise. What is this? This is the wonder. See, aho moodhaha. It is out of ignorance that one does not think like this. Vichara doesn't come. Then he says, Gatram sankuchitam gatir vigalita, similar shloka. Gatram sankuchitam gatir vigalita bhrashta cha dantavalihi drishtirnashyati vardhate vadhirata vaktram cha lalayate vakyam nadriyate cha bandhavajano bharyana sushrushate ha kashtam purushasya jirna vayasaha putropyamitrayate gatram sankuchitam gatir vigalita bhrashta cha dantavalihi drishtirnashyati vardhate badhirata vaktram cha lalayate vakyam nadriyate cha bandhavajano bharyana sushrushate ha kashtam purushasya jirna vayasaha putropyamitrayate. Gatram sankuchitam. In old age, body becomes shriveled. It becomes wrinkled. Face becomes wrinkled. So that is what, when the old age starts, people are very, very conscious. Very conscious, thinking that old age is coming. The look will be now not so beautiful. Everybody will start thinking that he or she is becoming old. Grey hair will arise. Gatihi vigalita. Gatram sankuchitam. There is wrinkles in the body. Gatihi vigalita. Gait unsteady. Dantavalihi cha bhrashta. Teeth have fallen out. Drishtihi nashyati. Eyesight is lost. Badhirata vardhate. Deafness has increased. Vaktram cha lalayate. And the mouth sheds saliva, drools when we start talking. Because teeth are not there, so when you start talking, there will be saliva shed. Bandhava janaha cha vakyam na adriyate. Relatives do not give any respect. People will not come and consult you. Maybe you had lot of intelligence, you were holding a big post, there were people coming and taking your advice for many things. Nobody will come and ask you anything, because that stage is over. So that gives suffering in the mind. I remember one day, once an old lady, she has become very old. She was the, mother of the house. She has brought up her children, settled them, looked after everybody, but now she has become old, grandmother. Now the grandmother has become old. So she is not able to go and do anything. When there is any function in the house also, she stays in her own room. When food is served to everybody, food will be brought to her, she will take. Very rarely one or two people will come and do namaskar, ask her, how are you? Many will not even bother because they are in their own merrymaking. Pitva moha madira. So it is, people will be talking and discussing things. They will forget about the old people. So nobody comes to ask, even if they are there, they will forget. Sometimes there will not be any time. So grandmother is sitting. Then when everybody has gone, maybe one of the house member has come in, she is asking who all had come. So they will say such and such people had come. Oh, nobody came to see me. I have witnessed it. So I felt very sorry. And that time I was very young. So I was thinking, oh, really so many people came. Nobody came to see grandmother. Maybe one or two people would have come. But all did not come, but all know her. So that sorrow, that feeling of neglect, feeling of being ignored, it gives unhappiness to people. But if you prepare your mind for that, that is why these shlokas are there. You prepare your mind for that, it will be like this. So don't look for any kind of honor, dishonor, respect, disrespect, nothing. This is Vairagya. So from early age, we should do Vichara. Our Shastras are saying, do Vichara. Prepare your mind for anything and everything. Don't become affected. Don't become affected. Vairagya is not that you have to leave everything, all work, everything, your family and everything, go and sit somewhere and do your meditation. Not that. Leave that feeling of I-ness, feeling of mindness, feeling of expectation, feeling of that this should be this way and that should be that way. Whatever comes, accept. And do not be affected in life. This is what Vairagya should be. So, drishti nashyati, eyesight is lost, badirata vardhate, deafness increases, vaktram cha lalayate, mouth sheds saliva, bandhava janaha cha vakyam na adriyate. The relatives and friends do not give any importance to your words. Bharya na sushruyate. Now, wife also sometimes neglects and doesn't come to nurse the husband. Maybe she gets, so many people have come, she gets entangled in that, either in talk or something. So, bharya na sushruyate. Wife also does not serve in time. Putraha api amitrayate. Son also. They do not look after the old father or mother. They are in their own world, with their own friends, own enjoyments. They are not sitting by the side of the old father or mother and giving company. Amitrayate. And sometimes, because the old person will need lot of help, maybe they will tell one thing again and again, repeatedly. So there will be some irritation. So many children, they are not able to tolerate that. So they become hostile. They will scold the old people. Ha! Jirna vayasaha purushasya kashtam. Oh, see the misery of the body in old age. So what we were doing actually, we said that because of attachment to the body, family, wealth. So the vichara for this in Vairagya Shatakam, Bhartrihari is saying that these are the facts of life, truth of life. So know this, think over it in time, so that the mind is prepared for everything. And you feel that, what is this body? I feel that it is so important, but this body is changeful. I should try to see the changeless Atma, which is inside the body, which is imperishable. I am getting enamored with, attracted to the body, mind, intelligence, which is actually changeful, perishable. And these are the things which are going to happen to the body. But my whole thought in my life is over that perishable item. I do not give any importance to the imperishable, which is making this body active. So this is what we should. We should think about what is that which is enlivening our body, enlivening the senses, enlivening the mind, the intelligence. While being active, we can always think about that. It's not that we cannot think. And these Shastras, they constantly tell us how to do all that, this kind of vichara. This life can be considered to be a river. The birth and death are its banks. Sukha and dukkha are the waves. So, if the life is considered to be a river, starts with one bank and ends in the other bank. Sukha and dukkha, happiness and unhappiness, are the waves. Rivers will have waves. So here, sukha and dukkha are the waves. Sometimes it's a high wave, sometimes it is a low one. Delight of youthfulness is its slush. When we are young, we are very happy, we can do this, we feel very strong, we feel that we are at the top of the world and we can enjoy. Whole mind is to only acquire and enjoy. And we get immersed in that. Just like if there is a slushy area and we walk on it, we'll get immersed in the slush. It is being compared to that. The delight of youthfulness is like this. If without using intelligence, we only go for enjoyment, not understanding what is good for me and what is not. What is perishable and what is imperishable. What is real and what is not. Then what will happen? Will be only suffer at the end. Because no enjoyment will remain with us. Every enjoyment, every bhoga, the sense organs, they go to different objects of enjoyment. And what happens? Initially they gave us lot of happiness. Suppose we can acquire, suppose I see something, I want to achieve it, I got it also, I'm very happy. Then comes the anxiety. Suppose it is lost, suppose somebody takes it away, like that. For every object it is like this. So every sukha is ultimately mixed with dukkha. So it is called dukkha yonayaha. It is a womb of misery. All the enjoyments, ultimately it is a womb of misery. Because how long will you enjoy? Enjoyment will stop. As soon as what? The 2 slokas that we did, the body will have to go through old age and disease, will not be able to enjoy anymore. So you'll have to go through the suffering of not being able to enjoy. So naturally, if we do not think like this earlier, then suddenly we feel that, oh, I'm not able to enjoy. The suffering will be very much. So it is called, the delight of youthfulness is the slush. The river swells by the shower of raga and dvesha. See, when there is a river, when there is a heavy rain, then what happens? The river will be swelling. And ultimately sometimes flood is also there. Here the river swells by what? Raga and dvesha, the life river. By attraction and repulsion. Constantly it is having agitation in the mind. Then there are 6 crocodiles which are trying to catch us, not allowing us to think with clarity and discrimination. What are the 6 crocodiles? In the Shastras they say, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. That I am not going into. Although this river of life is scorched by 3-fold misery, the life is scorched by 3-fold miseries. What are the 3-fold miseries? Somebody has asked, what are these 3-fold miseries? These are called Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika and Adhyatmika. What is Adi Daivika? Which is because of nature, nature's fury. Earthquake, flood, cyclone, then typhoon, like this, many things. Heavy shower, heavy storm, all those things on which we have no hold. Lightning, people die with lightning. So those which are through nature, and that is not in our hands, we cannot stop it. But by God's grace, in our lifetime, we may escape those. Maybe many are there who have escaped an earthquake or a cyclone, that is, the devastation which takes place because of those, one may escape that. Then Adi Bhautika. Adi Bhautika is through another creature. Murder, dog bite, snake bite, accidents, all those things. That is some other creature, because of another creature, some danger has come and one dies, all these things. These also, this Adhidaivika and Adhibhautika, one may escape in one's life. Which one cannot escape is Adhyatmika Dukkha. What is the Adhyatmika Dukkha? The Dukkha or the unhappiness produced by one's own mind and its tendencies. Some people, they remain anxious. However much you try to explain to them, they take to a lot of worship, this, that, but they are always anxious, always unpeaceful, always depressed. Some are very, very angry. Small things will make them very angry. Then they will say harsh words to others. Some are always grudging, blameful, intolerant, impatient. So these tendencies of the mind, they give us lot of suffering. And there is the list you can make yourself. I think all of us can make a big list what give us suffering. Our own tendencies. Not being satisfied, not being contented, always looking for something new, criticizing, fault-finding, blamefulness, hatefulness, dislike, jealousy, competitiveness. All these things give us suffering. Too much of expectation, too many desires, always wanting something. Whatever we are having, maybe we are very comfortable, still we feel something more. So all these things, they give us suffering. That is Adhyatmika suffering. So, these 3 kinds of suffering is always there in life. But still, deluded people out of ignorance, since they do not do vichara on these, what is the vichara here? That I am always suffering. My mind is always unpeaceful, restless. My mind is always anxious. My mind is always feeling fearful. Is there any way how to get rid of this? This question should come. And then by vichara, why am I fearful, or why I am unpeaceful, why I am not contented? This vichara, when one takes to, one will find a solution, spiritual solution. So, when people are ignorant, deluded, they do not care for that. That there is a solution, that pursuing the spiritual path, you can be liberated from it. You can be liberated from this suffering. One is not able to understand. Just like in an ocean, from a river, many rivers will come and merge into the ocean. So the rivers come together in the ocean. Then what happens? With heat, water will evaporate and make a cloud. So they go also. Similarly in life, what is happening? Wife, children, friends, relative, all these things, situations, wealth, property, they sometimes come together and sometimes they leave. One must be aware of this, must have vichara on that. So in this ephemeral world, always these are happening. Things are coming, things are going. One should be having that attitude. By vichara, one must develop this attitude that let anything come in and let anything go out. I will not be affected. Just like the ocean, when the river comes in, the ocean just takes it. Some rivers may be bringing in lot of slush, impurities. River just takes it. Similarly, one should be unaffected. So, through vichara, this is what one should be thinking. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. I started with that. And we are discussing now how every day, through every day, doing every work, we can do this. Now, it says the desire, what is the suffering? Ultimately, the suffering is desire and expectation. We feel that whatever is my life, when we are healthy, when we are youthful, we feel that this will remain. And when everything starts decaying, we are not happy, we are fearful, we are anxious and worried. Even then, our Shastras is pointing out to us, when the body is like this, we describe the body. The body is not able to even walk steadily. It has to have a stick in the hand, cannot see properly, cannot hear properly. And this is the state of the body. Even then, what happens is the desire, that doesn't decay. That doesn't decay. The desires do not decay. Valibhir mukhamakrantam palite nankitam shiraha gatrani shithilayante trishnaika tarunayate. Valibhir mukhamakrantam palite nankitam shiraha gatrani shithilayante trishnaika tarunayate. This is Vairagya Shatakam, 8th sloka. Mukham valibhihi akrantam. The face has been attacked by wrinkles. Shiraha palitena ankitam. head has been painted with grey hair. Beautifully written. When there is little grey hair starts coming, in the midst of all black hair, it looks like a paint, white paint. So Shiraha Palitena Ankitam, head has been painted with grey hair. Gatrani Shithilayante, and all the limbs have become enfeebled. No strength in any of the limbs. What all we could do, how much strength we had, we would take nobody's help to lift a thing or to stand up on a chair, on a ladder. Now we cannot do anything. All the old people who are listening, including me, I am talking. This is our condition now. This is inevitable. So, but what this sloka is saying is very, very important. And there we must keep our focus. What? Gatrani shithilayante, trishnaika tarunayate. Only the desire alone is rejuvenated and remains young. There is no weakening of the desire. Everything has become weak. Everything has become weak. He also says in another verse, Trishnana jirna vayameva jirnaha. That is, our desires remain as it is. Even though one becomes old, is not able to. You will find, see, why are we reading this? Why I am taking this? I don't know whether you are interested. I find so much of, wisdom in this. They are pointing their finger and telling us, think, assess, assimilate it and assess yourself. See, you are also like that. My dear children, it is very important. It may not be, it says that the body has become, first of all, some shlokas on the old age we have read, how the body is. Then it says the old age has come, body is like this, everything is very feeble, weak. But the desires do not become weak. You leave aside everything, you will find the desire to live comfortably is there. The desire to have good food is there. Desire that people should talk to me nicely is there. Desire that people will give me some respect is there. I should not be neglected, that desire is there. So many desires are there. And because it is there, what happens? Anything that we desire, say the food is not very tasty one day, the cook has not cooked it very well, we are annoyed. If the bed has not been made properly, maybe by the maid or whoever, we are annoyed. In that small little world now when old age is even there, many things we are not doing, we have left it. Others are doing it. And if we are very fortunate, there may be others to do. We are not able to, you are not having to do many things. Cannot do also. But the senses are still strong and the senses are still desiring. The mind is still desiring. And exactly like big things of desire, even small things, when we do not get what we want, we are very upset. Very upset. Trishnaikaha tarunayate. Trishna remains as it is. In fact, it becomes taruna every day. When the body is becoming old, Trishna, the desire, it becomes younger and younger every day. Ask for so many things. So, hearing this, all of you should go and think deeply. What are the subtle desires in the mind which still give me suffering? Why should we take to this exercise? Why should we? Because we are not happy. Because we are not contented. We are not peaceful. We are grumbling. We are fearful. So we have to catch the Trishna. Where is that culprit, the thief, which is taking away my peacefulness? What is making me non-peaceful or non-fulfilled? What is that? And the Shastra is saying that don't worry, even if your body has become very weak and old, the desires are still strong. So catch it, see. And we'll do this exercise only because we want to become eternally peaceful, eternally happy, eternally unaffected in life. Unaffected. See what it is saying? Nobody comes now to ask, how are you? Nobody comes to do even say a namaskaram if there is an old person in the house. They will, if guests have come, they say, where is grandfather, where is grandmother? They are in that room, that's all. Nobody will come and even ask you. People used to come and take your advice, your suggestion, used to be very happy talking to you. Nobody comes now. So this is happening. And it may happen to everybody. What we should do? We are getting affected by it. I used to be like this, now I am not, so I am suffering. So, what is happening? We are trying to hold on to whatever we were, forgetting the fact that life is changeful. At this moment what it is, next moment it is not. So when everything was very good, bright and shiny, we could not hold on to it. Things have gone, near and dear ones have gone, and our bodies have become old. How will we remain happy still? Without anxiety, without stress? Only when we know that desire is the culprit. So, slowly, with Vichara, try to take away the desires from the mind. And how do you do it? Then in Bhagavad Gita, Samatva Bhava, whether it is good, bad, honor, dishonor, keep your mind unaffected. Keep your mind unaffected. Desire. Asha nama nadi manorath jala trishna taranga kula ragagrahavati vitarka vihaga dhairya drumadvamsini moha varta sudustarati gahana prottunga chintatati tasya paragata vishuddha manaso nandanti yogishvaraha Asha nama nadi manorath jala trishna taranga kula ragagrahavati vitarka vihaga dhairya drumadvamsini moha varta sudustarati gahana prottunga chintatati tasyah paragata vishuddha manaso nandanti yogishvaraha. Asha nama nadi, the river which is called desire. Just now I was giving you a comparison of life with a river. Here in this shloka, Vairagya Shatakam, 10th shloka, it is saying the river is the desire. Asha nama nadi manoratha jala. Now any river there will be water. What is the water for this river of the mind, the desire? Water is ideas and imaginations. It is the mind, nature of the mind. Mind has desire. And the water here is not the water in the normal river. Here the water is ideas and imagination. So any river, water will be flowing. Here, ideas, imaginations, thoughts are constantly flowing. Flowing and flowing and flowing. And Bhagavad Gita says that till we die, mind is constantly thinking and thinking and thinking. There is no rest, no stopping of it. So, then, agitated by waves of greed, there will be in any river, what will be? Water is there, and there will be waves also. As the river flows, there will be some ripples and waves. That is, the water gets agitated. By what? Sometimes there will be big storms. Or sometimes because of the position of the moon also sometimes happen. So, agitation takes place in the waves. Here the mind, what agitates the mind? Greed. That is, desiring and too much of desire. That is, you've got your desire, some desires have been fulfilled. Still you want more. Still you want more. Then it becomes greed. And when you have greed, what happens? So much of desire is there, greed is there, that you forget everything. All the discrimination is lost. All of you know that dhyayoto vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha in Bhagavad Gita. Kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha. So, if the desires are not fulfilled, already the desire, by desire the mind is agitated, disturbed. And suppose you are not getting whatever you are desiring, what happens? There is absolute anger, irritation, sometimes hopelessness, depression, all these will happen. Now, in the rivers, crocodiles are there. And if the crocodile catches one, then what happens? It's very difficult to get rid of that grip of the crocodile. Well, what is the crocodile in the mind? Attachments. And the attachments are very difficult to get rid of. Attachments to what? Intense attachments to family, property, house, name, fame, prestige, qualification. All these things, we are attached. Our ideas. We are not able to even get rid of our ideas. Whatever idea I have for anything, I feel that is the best. And I'll hold on to it. Never leave it. So in discussions there will be a lot of anger and quarrels. So, these hidden attachments are like crocodiles in water. These crocodiles in the river, they remain hidden. And when people have gone to take baths, it will catch hold of your feet. Here, what are these? Attachment to these things. So, then there are birds. In the river, there will be so many trees in the banks. There will be nest of the birds. The birds will hover around. Here, what hover around are doubts and uncertainties regarding desired objects. So the doubts, suppose we desire something, will we get it or we will not get it? Whether we will be successful or not successful? These uncertainties and doubts, thoughts regarding that will be hovering around in the mind if we desire anything. Constantly the mind will be thinking, will I get it? Will I get it or will I not get it? How will I get it? Whatever method I have taken, suppose it does not work. So this kind of uncertainty. It can be anything. It can be an object. It can be, many things. When one is, we have a disease also. We have gone to one doctor. There will be uncertainty. Suppose you are not getting better. Uncertainty. Is the medicine okay or not? Should I go to another doctor? So, constantly there is this kind of doubts and uncertainties going on in the mind. And what do the uncertainties do? They take away from the mind confidence, fortitude and everything. Destroy that. Then there will be whirlpools in the river. Whirlpools, this circling it is a wave-like thing. It will be constantly at one place. It will be the water will be in a circle, and if you go into that, you will simply get drowned. Similarly, the whirlpools are unconquerable desires. They make whirlpools in the mind. That is, when the desires are so strong, we are not able to get rid of it, and they go on in the mind in a circular manner. Then what will happen? Thoughts of adverse possibilities will be there. Suppose it does not be successful, whatever I have tried. Then we cling on to the desired objects. Such things will be there. Then in a river, there will be tall banks, high banks. Those are the high anxiety and stress regarding the desired object, the thoughts about it. Whether we will achieve it, whether our desire will be fulfilled or not. These, I'll take it next time. But next time is going to be in the middle of April, because next week, along with Swamiji, we are going to Delhi, and that for the Delhi Jnana Yajna. So next Thursday actually we are traveling. So I will be taking this live satsang. When I come back, we are scheduled to return on 9th April. So after that. So these shlokas, this Vairagya Shatakam, some shlokas I have taken. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangra also, some shlokas I have taken. These are very good shlokas for doing vichara. Vichara for what? Vichara to produce, to let the mind withdraw from, worldliness. Things which we get attached to, cling to, which will not give us happiness at any time. And it doesn't allow us to think about God, to be feeling blessed, blissful by the thought of God or self. It does not turn towards one's inside. It remains outside. On the outside gains. So, to be able to go inside one's own self, one's own real identity, and seeing the same self everywhere, to be able to think of that, we have to come away from such thoughts which are not necessary. There are many necessary thoughts to run the life. We have to earn, we have to run a family, we have to feed ourselves, our children, look after many things. Not that. Many, many unnecessary things. Whatever we wanted to have, we have not got. Whatever we want to have in future, whether we'll get it or not, we don't know. Our mind is constantly thinking of that. Atita and the future. Leave everything. And this vichara is very helpful. Okay. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha पुण्याः समस्ताः क्रियाः वाचः प्राकृतसंस्कृताः श्रुतिशिरो वाराणसी मेदिनी सर्वावस्थितिरस्य वस्तुविषया दृष्टि परब्रह्मणि सर्वावस्थितिरस्य वस्तुविषया दृष्टि परब्रह्मणि। जय गुरु, जय गुरु।